Roosevelt was born in New York City, New York, on October 27, 1858. He graduated Phi Beta Kappa and magna cum laude from Harvard University and was elected the youngest member of the New York General Assembly. In the following years, President Roosevelt became a cattle rancher in the Dakota Territory. He wasn't the president at that time. He then served as a United States Civil Service Commissioner, President of the Police Commission of New York City, Assistant Secretary of the United States Navy, and Colonel of the 1st United States Volunteer Cavalry. He became Governor of New York, the Vice President, and now the President of the United States, all before the age of 42.
It was a pretty good start.
He is the father of 6 children and the author of over 30 books. He is a big game hunter, a leading ornithologist, and the founder of Boone and Crockett, the nation's first fair hunting and conservation organization. As president, he has declared some 230 million acres as national parks, national forests, wild refuges, and national monuments. He is indeed the great conservation president. Ladies and gentlemen, the 26th President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt.
Ms. Wilson from the Western Heritage Center. Buddy, thank you. I am Theodore Roosevelt. I am delighted to be here in Prescott this evening. Good evening, Yavapai County. I am especially delighted to be home here in Prescott, where the Rough Riders mustered in 1898 at Fort Whipple, now the Veterans Administration Hospital. My friend, Sergeant Tuberty, is representing the Rough Riders. Jump up and give the audience a wave, Sergeant. None more famous in this region than Bucky O'Neill, the captain in Troop 8, mayor of Prescott, Arizona. Of course, the casino bears his name. He had an E in his name before the Y. More importantly, the Rough Rider Monument done by Solon Borglum, the less famous brother of Gutzon, who sculpted with the ability of his son Lincoln to complete the program, Mount Rushmore. Have you seen it, Mount Rushmore? In my own opinion, I'm rather stone-faced there. But I come to life here in Prescott thanks in part to the wonderful work of Dennis Gallagher and the board at the Western Heritage Center. And of course then, since today Fort Whipple is the VA hospital, and knowing what a patriotic crowd we have here today, tonight, this performance, our brief, all too brief time together, I dedicate our time together to the men and women of the United States Armed Forces and to our veterans. But also humble, they'll hesitate to do so. The spouses will have to give them an elbow. If you're a veteran of active duty, would you all stand that we might thank you for your service to the country? Veterans, active duty, reservists. Now we've got the American flag here. Everyone join and stand together. Mr. Gallagher, I don't hesitate to tell you that back in my day, when I arrived in town, I'd be greeted at the train station by a brass band. Some lovely nightingale would have sung here tonight. Since we've missed that part of the program, you're all just going to have to join me in singing God Bless America. Let's all join together, all right? You know the song. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the to the ocean, what with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Glory for Christ! Well, I know I've come down from Medora, North Dakota. Gateway to, do we have some from North Dakota? Boy, well, of course, it's the gateway to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. It's the future home of Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library. It's a region of which I wrote. It's where the romance of my life began. And in 1910, I told the people of Fargo I would have never been president but for my experiences in North Dakota. Of course, the following day in Montana, I told the people there I would have never been president but for my experiences in Montana. Oh, now, all right, my ranch was just some 25 miles from the territorial line. They were free-range cattle. The roundups were nearby to eastern Montana, the Stockman's meetings in Miles City, even my dust up with the biggest full bully, that was Webo, Montana. But I know it's Prescott. Like me, you've come from everywhere, from all throughout the country. So I have arranged with Mr. Conahan. Mr. Conahan, thank you for the lights and the sound. The sound does seem to be a bit too rich. Ladies and gentlemen, if I had been on the stage in 1905 during my administration when the theater was built, I would not have used a microphone. And it does appear that the more the politicians have learned to amplify their voices, the less they have to say of any merit. I'll use the microphone and bring it down just a little bit for these people, except for Fred in the back. Well, I'm delighted that here, bring the house lights down. Some of these nice men would like to take a nap. Here in Prescott, you've recognized me. Here in Prescott, I was inspired. For today, I spent time with your most important crop, your school children. How is that going to go? Now, I know many of you have come to Prescott in your retirement. Your children and grandchildren might be elsewhere, but these children here, the children at Willow Creek Charter School, and today here in the theater from La Tierra, or Tierra Elementary School, such wonderfully well-behaved, inquisitive, bright children. The future's bright for the people here in Prescott, I assure you. I'm here to share some stories with you. A salute to Arizona. Of course, it was but a territory when I was your president, and came to statehood shortly thereafter in 1912. I first heard stories of Arizona firsthand from my Rough Riders, those men that mustered in here at Fort Whipple. So many others were Arizona Territory men. When the regiment was formed, I was not the original commanding officer. I'd been offered command of the regiment by the War Department, and in a very rare exercise of professional humility, I stated that I might need a week or two of combat experience in order to lead the regiment. I'd only been a captain in the New York National Guard. I asked that my friend, Captain Leonard Wood, Colonel Leonard Wood, earlier in his career, of course, an Atlanta captain, Colonel Leonard Wood had been awarded the Medal of Honor for being able to capture Geronimo here in the Southwest. He could train and lead the men, and I would work with the War Department to make sure we were properly requisitioned, most especially with the same Krag rifle with which the regulars would fight. Our third in command was a graduate of West Point, Major Alexander Brody, famous as being the superintendent of the Wickenburg Dam at its failure in the years prior. But for 2 years, Mr. Brody had been complaining about its need for repair, both publicly and with the board of directors, owners of the dam. So Brody came here to Fort Whipple, and that's when the men from Phoenix arrived under James McClintock, the captain of Troop B. But it was your own Bucky O'Neill who was the first man to take the oath and enlist in the regiment. Famously at a banquet in Phoenix, he was heard to toast, who would not give his life for a star? His political detractors said he was speaking of the star of a brigadier generalship. We know that Bucky was speaking about adding the star of Arizona Territory to the flag of the United States of America.